Hello, Miss Renata. This is David Janardi from English class 11-4C. Now I'm going to tell you some infos about the novel To Kill a Mockingbird. To Kill a Mockingbird was written by Harper Lee and it was published in 1960. The setting of the book To Kill a Mockingbird is based on Harper Lee's hometown Monroeville in Pennsylvania, but the fictional Macomb County is in Alabama. Harper Lee's book was immediately successful and won the Pulitzer Prize and has become a classic of a modern American literature. The story is told by a 6-year-old Jane Louise Finch. The novel is renowned for its warmth and humor, despite dealing with serious issues of rape and racial inequality. The narrator's father, Atticus Finch, has served a moral hero for many readers and as a model of integrity for lawyers. One critic explains that the novel impacted by writing the 20th century. To Kill a Mockingbird is probably the most widely read book dealing with race in America, and its protagonist, Atticus Finch, the most enduring fictional image of racial heroism.
Hello, Miss Renata. I am Andreas Wira from 11-4C, and I will be telling you the synopsis of To Kill a Mockingbird. To Kill a Mockingbird starts with the richness of history in a sleepy fictional town called Macomb County. Jeremy Atticus Finch, or we know as Jem, and his sister Jean Louise Finch, who we call Scout, are two motherless children. They have a loving father though named Atticus Finch. Struggling with all the differences and injustice of Macomb, Atticus teaches his children on how to overcome and respond to the harsh community of Macomb. Macomb itself has a lot of families. The Finches are one, then there are the Ewells, the Cunninghams, not to mention all the black people and also the neighbors living around the Finches' home. There are also the Radleys, which they have different thoughts about. And I will quote from page 39, where this is shown that Atticus is teaching Scout on how to settle on differences. I will quote from him. "If you can learn a simple trick, Scout, you'll get along a lot better with all kinds of folks. You never really understand a person until you consider things from his point of view, until you climb into his skin and walk around in it." This shows that Atticus is teaching his child, Scout, to understand people and accept their differences.
Hello again, Miss Renata. It's me, David Janardi from English class 11-4C. Now, I am going to tell you about the main characters, all of the main characters in the book To Kill a Mockingbird. The first character is Scout, Jane Louise Finch, or the narrator of the story. Scout is a tomboy who would rather solve problems with her fists rather with her head. Throughout the course of the book, Scout comes to a new understanding of human nature, societal expectations, and her own place in the world. Second, there's Atticus Finch. Atticus Finch is a single parent to their two children, Jem and Scout. The third character is Jeremy Atticus Finch, or Jem. Jem is Scout's older brother who ages from 10 to 13 during the story. As part reaching young adulthood, Jem deals with many difficult issues throughout the stories. The fourth character is Charles Baker Harris, or Dill. Dill is Jem and Scout's neighborhood friend. Living in Meridian, Mississippi, Dill spends every summer with his aunt, Miss Rachel Haverford. The next character is Calpurnia. the Finch's African-American housekeeper. She grew up at Finch Landing and moved with Atticus to Macomb. She is the closest thing to a mother that Scout and Jem have. One of the few Negroes in town who can read and write. She teaches Scout how to write. The next character is Boo Radley, or Mr. Arthur Radley. He is the mysterious neighbor who piques the children's interest. They've never seen him and make a game of trying to get him to come outside. The next character is Bob Ewell. The evil patriarch Bob Ewell spends his welfare checks on alcohol. He claims to have witnesses Tom attacking Mayela. The next character is Tom Robinson. Tom Robinson is the black man who is accused of raping and beating Mayela Ewell. And the last main character is Mrs. Henry Lafayette Dubose, a cantankerous, vile, elderly woman who teaches Jem and Scout a great lesson of bravery.
The important conflicts in this novel can be divided into three parts. There is man versus man, man versus self, and also man versus society. In the man versus man part, we can see that at the conclusion of the novel, Bob Ewell goes after Scout and Jem on their way home. Boo saves them by killing Bob Ewell in a fight. That is man versus man, in which we can see also the symbolisms of the mockingbird that is saved by the monster of the society to kill the actual monster of the society, that is the racist people. The second one is man versus self, in which after Ewell died, the sheriff must decide whether to lie or to arrest Boo after what had happened. We know that Boo has killed Ewell, so the sheriff decides to call the incident an accident, that Ewell accidentally fell on his knife and killed himself. That lie was to save Boo from his demise. And the third one is man versus society. We can see that from Atticus' problem in the novel, in which the people of Macomb tell him to stop defending Tom Robinson because he is black, and black people is synonymous with evil deeds. Because of Atticus' refusal to listen to the people, he was shamed and disgraced by the people of Macomb. That is all of the important conflicts that can be seen by this group.
Hello again, Miss Renata. This is Andreas Wira, and this time I'm going to tell you about the main theme. Our group has decided that the main theme of this book is justice should be served equally to everyone. Differences in social statuses are something you find every day in Macomb. Even until now, the world we live in still holds down to this concept. The well-off Finches stand near the top of Macomb's social hierarchy, with most of the townspeople beneath them. Ignorant country farmers, such as the Cunninghams, lie below the townspeople, and this is due to their farmer living like. During the setting of To Kill a Mockingbird, it is stated that the crash hit farmers the most. That is why the Cunninghams do not have money. But there are also white trash called the Ewells. They rest below the Cunninghams. The Ewells are not somebody you want to mess around with because they are usually very unhumane. But the black community in Macomb, despite its abundance of admirable qualities, squats below even the evils. We have to consider that there are also laws regarding this. During that time, Jim Crow's laws are still effective, which make the black in a very unsafe position. Children, like Jem and Scout, are also below the adults. This difference in social strata leads to the injustice of law towards lower citizens.
Hello, Miss Renata. My name is Liko Arfe, and now I will be explaining about one of the symbols that we can find in To Kill a Mockingbird. One of the most important symbols in To Kill a Mockingbird is mockingbirds. In fact, this symbol is a word found in this book's title. The term mockingbird is first mentioned in chapter 10. When Jem received his air rifle, Atticus warned him about shooting the birds. In page 119, Atticus said to Jem, "Shoot all the blue jays you want, if you can hit them. But remember, it's a sin to kill a mockingbird." Atticus told Jem that it's forbidden to kill a mockingbird. Then, Miss Molly added that mockingbirds don't do one thing, but make music for us to enjoy, and this is why that it's a sin to kill a mockingbird. Mockingbirds don't do bad things like blue jays, such as eat up people's gardens and nest in corn cribs. From these statements, we can conclude that mockingbird symbolizes innocence and innocent people. Throughout the book, the term mockingbird can represent many characters to show that they are innocent. Boo Radley, Scout, Jem, and Tom Robinson are just few examples of mockingbirds. The connection between this symbol and the novel's main theme is made explicit several times in the book. In chapter 25, specifically in page 323, Mr. Underwood likened the death of Tom Robinson, who got shot, to the senseless slaughter of songbirds by hunters and children. This compares violence towards Tom and songbirds, as the two did nothing wrong and were innocent. In the end of the book, which exactly is in page 370, Scout thinks that hurting Boo Radley would be like shooting a mockingbird. This shows that Scout thinks that Boo Radley is innocent, and it is wrong to hurt someone who's innocent, like Boo Radley himself. Now, I will be giving a little bit of trivia which is related to the symbol we have been discussing about, which is mockingbirds. Jem's and Scout's last name is Finch, which is another type of small bird like the mockingbirds. This indicates that they are particularly vulnerable in the racist world of Macomb County, which often treats the fragile innocence of childhood harshly. Could this be the reason why Harper Lee decided to give them the surname Finch? Well, who knows?
I'm going to explain about one of the symbols in the novel, which so happens to be Boo Radley himself. Why am I calling him a symbol? Because as the novel progresses, the children's changing attitude towards Boo Radley is an important measurement of their development from innocence toward a grown-up moral perspective. At the beginning of a book, Boo is merely a source of childhood superstition. As he leaves Jem and Scout presents and mends Jem's pants, he gradually becomes increasingly and intriguingly real to them. At the end of the novel, he reveals himself fully human to Scout, illustrating that she has developed into a sympathetic and understanding individual. Boo, an intelligent child ruined by a cruel father, is one of the book's most important mockingbirds because a smart kid, which is actually innocent, beaten up by his cruel father, is considered as a mockingbird because that's the same thing like killing a mockingbird, which is considered a sin. So he is considered to be an important symbol that exists within people. Despite the pain that Boo has suffered, The purity of his heart rules his interaction with the children. In saving Jem and Scout from Bob Ewell from the incident, Boo proves the ultimate symbol of good throughout the entire novel.
The mad dog is symbolizing in which something friendly and known can become dangerous and menacing to those around it. The community of Maycomb in the novel can be seen as a friendly place where everyone knows each other. But the rape incident of Mila Ewell by Tom Robinson, which is quite racist, turns many of the townspeople into unreasonable, dangerous, mad people. This is one of the reasons why white people have more power rather than the black people, considering that everyone got scared and stayed indoors when they heard the news that a mad dog with rabies is running wild. By this statement, it can be concluded that whomever have power and control over every human and living being shall rule them all. The mad dog can also symbolize the illness of the racism that is spreading in the community, but somehow it doesn't appear in the PowerPoint. So yeah, just at that. Thank you.
Now I'm going to explain about the essential question that our group picked. So the question is, what indeed is justice? So according to English Dictionary, justice defines as the maintenance or administration of what is just, especially by the impartial adjustment of conflicting claims or the assignment of merited rewards or punishment. Justice is related to the novel in terms of a black-skinned person or a Negro had a very different environment with the white-skinned people in Macomb County. Not to mention, both of these race going to different church where both of these race doesn't give the same right or justice. One of the characters in the novel, Tom Robinson, was falsely accused raping a white woman. In that case, people in Macomb are majoritized racist and doesn't give the same justice to one another.